Today we are going to talk about taking large steps with your kiddo and why it's such an important gross motor skill to work on, develop, and also teach your kiddos, especially for balance, strength, and proprioception, as well as integrating the visual motor system. Stay tuned. One of the big things with stepping and taking larger steps is that it integrates the balance system, the strength system, the proprioception system. Proprioception is how the body is able to tell where it is in space based on the feedback that it gets from a surface on the body or a force on the body. So essentially, every time you step on the ground provides a force through your foot or your hand or whatever is placed on the ground, and your body is able to interpret that feedback from the force that the ground is putting on your limb and be able to gather data about where and how your body is moving through space. It's the same thing for any other type of object as well. So if I put my hand on the wall is providing a force through my hand, and my hand is providing a force through the wall, and my body is able to take both of those inputs of data and say, oh, my hand is on the wall is to my right, my body is to the left of the wall. And so it's able to essentially help us move through space, and especially for kiddos, they're able to better understand their environment and how they move in their environment. So with that, some kiddos can have sensory issues. That's not necessarily what we're going to talk about in this video, but proprioception is one of the ways to kind of help kiddos kind of be more confident in how they move. So working on these specific skills for balance and strength and cultivating that increased confidence and proprioception is really helpful for that. So basically these exercises, you can use little colored markers, which is what I have, and I can link a couple of different options in the description below. You can also use tape or just print out colored piece of paper or have colored construction paper and tape them to the ground or whatever. So you can be really creative. Basically what you're gonna want though is bright colors if you have them, especially if you have a kiddo who is visually impaired. Visually impaired kids have different colors that they can tend to see better. Yellow is one of those options, or essentially bright colors on a black or white background can also assist kiddos in using their visual system. So in order to do this activity, you need your proprioceptive system, you need strength, and you also need your visual system all to work together. And when you need balance, again, you're using your vision system, your proprioceptive system, as well as your vestibular system, which is essentially your inner ear and little, essentially like little rocks, little crystals that go around in your inner ear, and based on where those crystals are in different canals in your inner ear, that tells you also where your body is in space. Am I upright? Am I lying down? Am I diagonal? Am I upside down? Things like that. So essentially, what you're going to want to do is have the kiddo stand on yellow, stand on orange, whatever the first color is. And what you're going to do is cue them to put one foot on the next color. So then right foot on red. If your kiddo is nonverbal or has verbal limitations, you may need to do other types of cues. So you might need to cue their leg to, okay, move right leg, right foot on red, and then cue them by tapping their right leg so they know, oh, this is my right leg. I'm going to move that next. So moving their right leg. And then what they're going to need to do in order to shift their weight from their back leg to their front leg is they're going to need to kind of lean forward, and then it's basically a transition of weight from the back foot to the forward foot. Your knee is going to go over your ankle, and then you're going to bring this foot here. So the first strategy is to do 2 feet on orange, 1 foot on red, bring bring the back foot. Typically, the kid's gonna wanna bring their strong foot forward and leave their weaker foot backwards. So then you do right foot blue, and then bring left foot as well. The next strategy to make this activity even harder is to take bigger steps. This is going to be more difficult because the kiddo are essentially going to have to do a single limb balance on one of the legs. So if we do left foot this time, left on red, your left foot on red, and then you're going to cue the child to bring their right leg or their back leg all the way to blue. So in order to do this, I need to shift my weight to my left leg. I need to complete single leg standing on my left leg and bring my right leg to blue. So what this does, and to see it in kind of fast motion, what this allows for is to work with kiddos on increasing their stride length, as well as working on single limb stance, which is also important for going upstairs one foot on each step, as well as going upstairs without holding onto something, as well as improving that gait cycle. Because when we're walking, we have one foot on the ground and the other one in swing phase is off the ground. So if you have a kiddo who's really struggling, they're only able to stand on one foot for 1 to 2 seconds, or not even able to pick their leg off the ground, then this can be a fun activity to utilize in order to get them to buy into the standing on one foot principle and practicing that. A lot of times kiddos don't really enjoy just standing on one foot. Different activities you can do to increase standing on one foot in order to progress to this activity or to enhance this activity are having kiddos pick things up with their toes and put in a bucket. Those things are a little bit more fun than just having them stand on one foot. You can put a beanbag on their foot, hold it there, see if you can sing a song together, the ABC songs, Wheels on the Bus, or even just count to 5 if they're practicing learning their numbers, and then do it on the other foot. So this is really good, especially if a kiddo has vision struggles, to have it again on like a black background or a white background with brightly colored cues, and then to go onto a playground where they have like those elevated discs where they might be 1 to 2 inches off of the ground. Then you're adding a little bit more gravitational insecurity into the realm. A lot of times they're bumpy, so they're uneven, which makes your proprioception and your balance system work harder. So this is a good way to practice in order to get to that point. You can even add a little bit more to it. You can have puzzle pieces on one side, or make it part of an obstacle course where you grab a beanbag or a puzzle piece or a part of a game, and you have to pretend that the floor is hot lava, and you have to, stay on, otherwise you'll fall off, and take big steps to get across in order to put the puzzle piece in, or to put the game in, or a little knob. So then you're working on a lot of different things. You're working on fine motor on top of a little bit of creativity and imagination. Let the kid decide what the floor is. Is the floor water? Is it lava? Are you like jumping from cloud to cloud and you're up in the air? Like, what does that look like to them? And allow them to be creative and imaginative, and then also work on some of these physical skills so that they can have increased confidence while they're on their playground and continue to develop and be strong, so that they have a love of movement and not a fear of movement. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments below. If you have something that you would love a specific video on, something maybe your kiddo's struggling with, or something you're unsure of, post that below. I would love to make content specifically based on what you guys want to learn about. Bye.